Sometimes we need a break from the grueling, carefully curated, and impactful horror we've had the good fortune of experiencing these last few years. If the mood is right, a horror comedy can really hit the spot. So here are the Horror and Cat's top 6 picks to pad out the more serious horror you'll be rubbing in your eyes all October, as well as the platforms on which you can watch them.
Maybe if we're really quiet, she'll just go back to sleep.
Don't let the 3D in the title fool you. This is actually a good movie. It's hilarious, involves a wildly complicated curse with a strange caveat the characters literally create themselves in jest, and has Christopher Lloyd being Christopher Lloyd. Great effects, fleshed out and diverse characters, a witty and goofy script the actors fully lean into, and an almost cute sense of humor easily bubbles this one up to yearly viewing status.
You sick or something?
Oh look! Carnage!
We've had zombies up to our ears at this point, people. Fast ones, slow ones, fungal ones, alien virus ones, cooked up in a lab ones, and now we can add bad chicken nugget ones to the list. The difference here is Frodo Baggins, Dwight from The Office, and Kenneth from 30 Rock, among others, absolutely wreck an entire playground's worth of child zombies with improvised weaponry as the hapless teachers of Fort Chicken Elementary School, where a tainted school lunch leads to a full-on preteen zombie apocalypse. Cooties is the king of the throwaway joke/line and never wears out its welcome as the underappreciated and underprepared faculty plow their way from the opening to the end credits.
It's corn syrup, you know, like these characters are walking around with just corn syrup in their veins. Oh, no. Oh, God, that's blood.
Free right here on our hometown of YouTube, The Final Girls is an absolutely laugh-out-loud meta-type horror comedy in the vein of Scream, where horror tropes are known and exploited by the cast. American Horror Story staple Tasia Farmiga and Watchmen's Malin Ackerman play a mother and daughter separated by the seemingly irreconcilable difference of the daughter being alive and her mother being dead, reconnect over the course of this movie in a genuinely sweet story unlike anything else on this list. Do yourself a favor, watch this one. And yes, Tasia Farmiga is related to The Conjuring's Vera Farmiga. They are sisters.
They captured Allison!
Oh, it's the pancakes. You hate pancakes. I'm gonna make you something else.
Tucker and Dale vs. Evil takes the murderous hillbilly horror trope and turns it on its head, starring Reaper's Tyler Labine and Firefly's Alan Tudyk as the sweet, misunderstood country folk who bumble themselves into being perceived as a threat by a group of rowdy, sexy teens out for some fun in the forest. You know what kind of fun these sexy teens get up to in the forest. The misunderstandings get wilder and deadlier as the flick goes on, and it is hilarious the entire way through. It's free on Tubi, and you owe it to yourself to see it.
Marriage is a sacred bond, for better or worse.
Much worse.
Slither takes the disgusting cake by a mile compared to the other entries on this list. You might even be able to get away with describing it as body horror if whomever was listening was in a particularly open-minded mood. Gag-worthy effects of both the practical and CG persuasion, a darkly funny and witty script, and #1 Canadian export Nathan Fillion make this one a particular favorite of mine. I always watch this at some point during October. Before the #1 pick of horror comedies, here are some honorable mentions. If you like your musicals as much as you like your horror, Anna and the Apocalypse would be a worthy investment for your rental money. The story is fun, the musical numbers are surprisingly good, and you might even be able to pull your non-horror fan friends to the dark side using this one as a gateway drug. You Might Be the Killer begins as it means to go on with a blood-drenched Fran Kranz of Cabin in the Woods fame frantically calling horror nut Allison Hannigan for advice, only to find out he might be the killer. The story is genuinely unique, and the way it's shot cements its comedic style. If you have Hulu Live TV, Fubo, or Sling, it's worth a watch. Freaky. Serial killer Vince Vaughn and meek high schooler Catherine Newton swap places Freaky Friday style, leading to excellent and hilarious acting from both of them as they imitate the other throughout. If you missed this one in 2020 or when it was on HBO Max, it is absolutely worth a rental to fulfill the magical dagger quota you may or may not have for your seasonal viewing. Fright Night sees the late, great Anton Yelchin, the absolutely excellent in everything Toni Collette, 28 weeks later lead Imogene Poots, and a boozed-up David Tennant face off against Colin Farrell's portrayal of Jerry the Vampire in this remake of the 80s classic. Scout's Guide plays it blue from start to finish and isn't ashamed at all, featuring an accidental, tension-based penectomy, Boy Scouts in a strip club, and a genuine pair of zombified adult film star breasts. It's a weaker entry, but there are some good laughs and fun to be had along the way. Plus, it's hard to argue as it's currently free on Pluto TV. Also, I know you're wondering, it's Missy Martinez. Now for Horror and Cat's #1 pick for horror comedies.
Brains.
Freaks of Nature is a joy from start to finish. In a town where vampires, humans, and zombies have been living in tentative harmony, everything goes to hell in a handbasket when aliens show up and tip the delicate balance over into all-out violent panic. Human Dag, vampire Petra, and zombie Ned find themselves needing to work together to figure out what the aliens want and how to save their little town. Comedic star power in this includes Keegan-Michael Key, Dennis Leary, Patton Oswalt, and some hilarious scenes involving Bob Odenkirk and Joan Cusack as Dag's granola-loving Earth Muffin hippie parents with boundary issues. Despite being relatively unknown and having done absolutely miserably in the box office, this is a solid and funny flick with an honest-to-goodness badass twist. If you don't have Starz, the only premium platform on which it's currently streaming, it is fully worth the rental. Look at these character-specific posters they released to promote the movie. I had Petra's as my lock screen for months after watching this the first time. Oh, Petra. Well, there you have it. 6 Horror and Cats top picks for horror comedies this season to pad out all the very serious and very scary and very violent and, did I say scary? Horror movies you'll be watching all October. Also, 5 bonus horror comedies. Bet you didn't expect that when I said there was going to be 6. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this interesting and maybe got some ideas for the horror season. What are your favorite horror comedies? Let me know if you like these ones, if you like other ones. Just drop it in the comments and I'll definitely read them. I've always been reading whatever comments I get. And if you want, check out the rest of the channel for some Let's Plays and some movie discussions and some movie reviews. And of course, celebrate in the fact that we've made it to October. It's finally time. It's finally time for Halloween to let our freak flags fly. So, full mast, everyone. Full freak flag mast. Have a good one.